Friends, hello to all. Today I will tell you about a unique soldier who received the highest U.S. military award for a battle in which he participated while intoxicated. We will talk about Peter Lemon, a native of Canada, who moved to the United States with his family at the age of 11. Lemon grew up a true patriot and independently enlisted in the U.S. Army to serve in the Rangers. It was 1969. Soon the young patriot was sent to Vietnam to fight communism, as he himself believed. Lemon was sure that he was fighting for a just cause, but reality greatly disappointed him. He witnessed war crimes, the horrors of war, and other unpleasant things. Lemon and his comrades, like many other soldiers, began to smoke marijuana to forget and sometimes just out of boredom. On the evening of March 31, 1970, Lemon and his platoon returned from a reconnaissance patrol to the Ellingworth Fire Support Base, after which they got high and went to bed. It would seem that nothing foreshadowed trouble, but the Vietnamese had their own plans. The fact is that the base was located not far from the Ho Chi Minh Trail and was essentially an isolated outpost, interfering with the Vietnamese. In fact, it was a kind of bait for the Vietnamese to engage them in open combat and bomb them from the air. Shortly before midnight, the Americans detected movement in the jungle and opened fire, making it clear to the Vietnamese that they would not be able to catch the Americans by surprise. The Americans were on alert, but no one expected a serious skirmish, so Lemon and his comrades were given time to rest. Before going to bed, Peter smoked another joint and went to rest, but he didn't have much time to rest. At about 2 a.m., 400 Vietnamese attacked the base. The Americans found themselves in an unenviable position since the aircraft could not work on the enemy due to the fear of hitting their own. The Vietnamese pounded the base with mortars and quickly broke through the American defense. At this point, Lemon wakes up and takes matters into his own hands. Being stoned, he takes a defensive position and pounds the enemy with a large-caliber machine gun until it breaks down. Lemon picks up a rifle and continues to fight, but it jams. Throwing the rifle aside, he throws grenades at the enemy. He receives his first wound from a Vietnamese grenade explosion, but continues to fight. Moreover, he kills one of the Vietnamese in hand-to-hand combat. Despite his injuries, Lemon rescues his wounded comrade and carries him to the medical center. He then receives a second wound but still continues to fight, throwing grenades at the Vietnamese. Even the third wound did not stop the stoned berserker. Lemon picks up a machine gun and jumps onto the embankment, starting to pour grenades on the Vietnamese. Eventually, he falls from the wounds he received from exhaustion. Recovering consciousness in the medical center, he refuses to be evacuated until his seriously wounded comrades are rescued. In general, the night turned out to be hot. The soldiers were showered with awards. Silver Stars, Purple Hearts, and Berserker Lemon was nominated for a Medal of Honor, but he seriously wanted to refuse the award. According to him, the award does not belong to him alone, but to his comrades whom he lost in that battle. Eventually, he was persuaded to receive the medal, but he did not wear it for a long time. Pitt avoided public recognition of his heroism in every possible way and always talked about his comrades who died in that battle. He later said in an interview that this was the only battle he entered into while high. According to Lemon, he and his comrades got high because they were acting as a support unit and did not expect any action from the enemy. They just sat, smoked weed, and talked about what they would do when they returned home. Peter kept the award in a shoebox for a long time until his comrades managed to convince the hero otherwise. Lemon began wearing the medal in order to perpetuate the memory of his comrades. Each time in an interview he talked about their feat, mentioning that the medal did not belong to him, but to Casey Waller, Nathan Mann, and Brent Street. After the war, Peter became a successful entrepreneur and motivator. He has a negative attitude towards the Vietnam War and comments on it as follows: "This war is ridiculous. Imagine how we would feel if we started a war with Canada and the Russians and Chinese came here and wanted to help.